Hello.
Hey, this is Robert, and welcome to the Solomon Shrine Podcast. And today we have our latest victim, Alex. Say hi to the folks out there.
Hi, everyone. I am a victim, apparently. Help me.
Yeah, yeah, and I say this very, very, very lovingly, but
Oh,
yeah,
of
I'm just really
course.
excited to have you on the show, and it's just been. I think this is something that I've kind of been wanting to do for a while, so yeah, I've been wanting to have you on for quite some time, and boom, we finally got it. We've
Well,
picked a perfect day.
well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. For the listeners and viewers, Robert and I have worked on and off like on random things, so it is a pleasure
Yeah.
to finally see you and talk to you more than just through text. So again, thank you for having me.
Yeah, than
It
just
is
a
great.
disembodied
Oh
like
yeah.
profile picture.
Now I have a face to the name, so it's all good. But thank you for having me. Very excited.
Yep, anytime, brother. So, I guess to start this out, like how's your 2025 going? And yeah, what's exciting stuff that you've kind of been working on at the moment?
Thank you for asking the question. 2025 has been very good, I think overall. So, for those who don't know, my name's Alex. Vietnamese American voice actor, started acting actually almost, I want to say 3 years ago in a few days. It's around June is when I started in 2022. Had lots of ups and downs, but lots of learning and growing. And this year specifically has been really good in terms of just like I'm seeing kind of that growth kind to starting to bear fruit. Obviously, there's still more room to grow, 100%. But I'm starting to see things that. So I recently was in Everspace 2, The Wrath of the Ancients DLC. Fantastic. Really excited. I get to play across several characters and like also talk. My character's talking to some pretty people that people that I looked up to. So it's really exciting. Some things that obviously cannot speak of, but hopefully I get to soon. But otherwise, it's been great. I've been having a good time. I've gotten to travel to LA frequently this year for those projects and just to see friends and just make memories. So it's been a good, fruitful, and blessed year so far. All things
Yeah,
considered.
yeah, for sure. And it's really awesome that you've been visiting LA. I know that right now it's kind of a little bit wonky, but trust me, I
Yes.
think, yeah, after we get past, all the craziness, I think it'll be nice to visit again. Probably gonna be hot, but hey,
Yeah,
we
so no,
we're used to
because the
it.
first time I visited was I had visited before like once, maybe twice last year. My first visit this year was in January, right? So I landed on Tuesday like at 10 a.m. and then
Oh,
1 hour later the fire started. And I'm like,
oh my
no.
God. Yeah, when you
I
were, I
go,
was about to say January, and then it's like, oh no.
yep. So all the plans that I had with people were understandably having to be put back to like later at a later time. So I was fortunate enough to be in a space that was not going to be affected greatly. Obviously the smog, ash and everything did devastate the whole greater LA area. And again, my heart goes out to everyone affected. But I was very lucky to be safe. And I was very lucky that I had my friends and family who were affected to also be safe. And I got to see a lot of them this last time I was there in June. So it has, like I said, been a very crazy year, but all things considered, it's been a good year.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm still here, and we're just kind of
Exactly.
kicking it into high gear, just
We're doing the
getting
thing.
our stuff out there, and yeah, just really excited once
We're
again to do this.
just doing the thing, man. That's all we can
Yeah,
ask
just
for.
doing our thing, and yeah, that reminds me, I need to hydrate in just a sec,
This is
because
tea.
it.
It's my wife's cup. It's plant lady, but today I'm a plant
Ah,
man
nice.
or lady, whatever.
Yeah, we
Sorry.
all could use some tea every so often, but yeah, and we can all sip some tea, but just a little dumb joke there. But yeah, uh, before we do continue, I'm g- I know it's super annoying every time I show this, but
Oh, go for it.
yeah,
Whatever.
I'm sorry.
Go for it. I said, do your thing.
Oh, wrong way. Yeah, congrats to the because we were kind of in the little strike thing, and now
Mhm.
it's apparently suspended. I'm not sure if it's fully over, but it's a positive step forward,
Mhm.
especially like in spite of all the craziness that we've been dealing with over here. We could all use some positive news for a change.
Yes. 100%. Again, with everything going on, that was some good news for those affected. And it is a step in ideally in the right direction. That's all.
Yeah, because I know there's a lot of video game announcements that everybody has kind of been having to put on hold, and
Hmm.
just seeing the explosion of announcements on Twitter, it's,
Hmm.
bro, y'all have been just dying to make these announcements, man.
People have been waiting and cooking and
They have
just
been
like
waiting,
sitting
they've
on
been
it.
suffering in silence.
They've been keeping their delicious meals and announcements in the oven to keep warm, and they were soon to be cold. But boom, they just released the Kraken yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. That's a pretty good way of putting it, so
Yeah,
I might steal it at some point.
go for it, man.
Yeah, I guess with all of that said, though, I think I kind of know a little bit about your background. So, what was something that kind of started your, I guess, it was kind of like the light bulb that went inside your mind of like, you know what, maybe I could do this. So, your little backstory, if you may.
So, for those who've heard this story multiple times, sorry, but you know what? You get to hear it again, so you're welcome. So for those who don't know, I surprisingly enough have been a very shy person growing up. I still am kind of shy. I kind of forced myself out of my comfort zone. So throughout middle school, high school, I've always been interested in doing acting, and just kind of being part of the theater stuff. But I was so shy. Family kind of always embarrassed me, or I always felt embarrassed, and I never really touched it until I started going to college, where I started joining like choir, performing there. Those are just a little teases. At the my undergrad college where I met my wife, I was part of a musical organization, so I was also put a little bit on the stage there. But that was really the extent of my acting or theatrical arts until I started doing it, pretty much as I am now. So I'm a pharmacist. I graduated in 2021, so I've been doing that daytime and then doing, voice acting otherwise. And honestly, I know this is a long-winded answer, but really, the thing that spoke out to me the most was, and I'm sure in other interviews you'll hear me name drop him all the time. I never really understood the concept of representation, truly. Like it was just like it was a thing, right? I was like, oh, cool. They can voice act, they can do all this, they can all do all that. Like, cool. Like that'd be cool if I can do it. And it wasn't really until Demon Slayer came out, and Zenetsu's voice actor. Am I allowed to name drop? Is that okay? Okay, so Zenitsu's voice actor Alex Lee posted like his background, his behind the scenes videos, or just him just being himself. And something hit me where I was just like, wow, he's Vietnamese. I'm Vietnamese. It hit me that someone like me, someone who looked like me, was doing these things, making these arts, making stories, telling stories that I loved. And I was like, I want to do that too. And so truly, that's what kind of got me interested in like looking into it. And then one day I, just kind of like, let's just try auditioning for something. So I auditioned for like some kind of fan made Destiny story, which was fun. And I auditioned. I got the part. The guys were like, "Hey, we really like your character. Is there anything you can do about your sound?" I was like, "Well, how do I do that? What does treatment mean?" And so I tried the whole blanket over the mic situation. Way too hot. Hated it. And then I just hyperfixated and then created this booth that you see here, and the rest is history. Long story short, I got into it because I was inspired by some really great actors. So,
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like with me whenever I watch something. Actually, this could kind of be a nice little segue into inspirational media, the stuff that really inspired you to go out there and be creative. So what would that be for you? You just mentioned Demon Slayer. Slayer. What else kind of is high on your
um,
list?
I'm a gamer. I like to play video games. That's one of the things that I've always enjoyed doing. I identify as someone who plays video games, goes to these movies, watch TV, and all that. So I've always been like inspired by kind of just like the way people act. So another one when it kind of comes to representation, and I know people had mixed feelings about it, was Shang-Chi. Seeing, because I love the MCU. I know not everyone does. I'm a fanboy at the heart. I understand where some of them didn't do well, but Shang-Chi to me was just, it hit home because there was a lot of stories. The story was somewhat similar to mine in terms of like the relationship with the parent. and still seeing that was very inspirational. And then just playing video games. I love Digimon. So like playing all those different games whenever the dialogue was going on, I'd read along with it too. Be like, yeah, like I'm the shonen character. So a lot of my inspiration comes just from everything I consume. If you guys follow me on social media, I'm constantly watching movies, constantly watching TV shows. I just absorb it, and I just love the storytelling. It's hard to pinpoint specifically, Robert, exactly what I like. It's just I like it all. And all of it inspires me. And I'm the type of person who watches a movie and I'll be like, I love the way they delivered that. I like this. That was fantastic. It pulls me into the movie more. Some things pull me out, but most things pull me into the movie more because of those subtle nuances. And I like to think that I can kind of put those into my own as well when I'm behind the mic.
Yeah, I'm also the same way. I kind of fell out of Marvel, not gonna lie, but
Don't lie, don't lie.
yeah, I think the whole hype with Infinity War and then the end game is just kind of I'm still feeling it even to this day, years later.
No, I feel
And
it. I feel it.
yeah, I mean it's like after the whole big ins yeah, we all know that one scene that happens in
Hmm.
Endgame. So I think it's just kind of like I think the momentum just kind of died out for me. But hey, I'm glad that they're still doing well and it still has a very large, fan base.
Hmm.
So go nuts if you like the new Marvel stuff.
I feel like they've learned from their mistakes because there was at one point Ant-Man's my favorite of the characters just because I really like his father-daughter relationship. Um but Quantumania, man, that one kind of hurt me because I was like, what happened? What'd you do? And I feel like around then is when I think they got, hit in the face like, hey, let's slow down on some of the stuff. That and Secret Invasion was just like, hey, let's slow down. Because you saw their original phases was like, we're gonna cram in like 20 things down y'all's throats in like, 1 year. And then they're like, oh, you know what? Let's space it out a little bit. I personally feel, and this is not an endorsement, but it kind of is. If you haven't seen Thunderbolts yet, beautiful movie. Probably one of the things that has brought a lot of love back for me personally into the MCU. It tackles a lot of things I think very, very well. You should see it. I'm talking to you, Robert. You should see it. And anyone who's listening, you should see it.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. But yeah, I think for me, like a lot of the stuff that I'm influenced by, you could kind of also see in Solomon, like Gravity Falls,
Hmm.
just some of the Cartoon Network stuff, like Steven Universe and so on and so forth, Star versus Disney.
Hmm.
But I think the ones that really stood out to me as a kid were like Batman the Animated Series, which I still watch to
Ooh,
this day, and also
yeah.
Avatar.
Oh,
I,
absolutely.
I know it's kind of like a go-to answer, but I'm sorry, it's just
I
too good,
mean,
y'all.
when you're peak, you're peak. There's no arguing about it. Like
Exactly,
100%.
exactly,
Like if it's everyone's answers, that there's a reason. So it's fantastic.
exactly. Yeah. So I think those are kind of like my top favorites. Like I was kind of a full-on comedy dude, like
Hmm.
SpongeBob, Ed, Edd and Eddie, stuff like that, Looney Tunes, and I still love them to this very day. So it's just like with this one, I just wanted to do something that's a little bit different because I do like slice of life and
Hmm.
slice of life. Wow, boy, I'm doing good so far. Slice
Tongue
of
twisters,
life.
man.
Yeah, tongue twisters. Yeah. Well, I do them for a living, so I don't know why I'm tripping up right now. So, and I'm trying to talk like myself. So, anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, for Solomon, I wanted to do something that's a little different because I mostly do like slice of life, comedy, comedic type of stuff. So this is like the first foray into like straight up horror, or not horror, but more mystery comedy with
Hmm.
a bit of horror in there because I
Kind of
I
like a
love
little
shows like
darker tone, just a
yeah,
little darker
darker.
tone.
Yeah, like Courage, The Cowardly
Yeah, I
Dog,
was gonna say courage.
Scooby Doo, and yeah, stuff like that, and just add my own unique. Well, me, myself, and Kayla just adding our own spin to it. So
Hmm.
yeah, if you're listening to this, Kayla, you rock. And I just hit my mic when I did that. But yeah, that's how into it I am. So yeah, it was just kind of like one of the things where it's like, you know what? If something is outside of your comfort zone, if you're kind of like if you find yourself in a niche or like if you find yourself in kind of like a comfort area, maybe you should try something that you can branch out to. What is something that makes you a little uncomfortable, and I'm somebody that just really loves psychological thriller, but not like straight up scary movies like The Ring or
Oh no,
Saw or
that was
stuff like
creepy.
that.
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry.
100%. I said, yeah, The Ring is creepy. I'll watch it, but like, I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah, no, but I just like stuff like probably not the best example, but Stanley Kubrick's films, not like, but more like the psychological thriller aspects, not
Hmm.
definitely not like behind the scenes. Okay, we don't want to
Hmm.
traumatize the cast as well. But yeah, I just really love like the what would happen, what makes a person tick, what would make them like cause them to go insane or snap.
Hmm.
That's just always stuff that just kind of, is very fascinating to me
Hmm.
because it kind of goes back to when I was writing the story. I kind of approach it as like in a sort of, how can I say this? It's because it's like a game where they have to try to make it out of there, but how are they going to work together? How are they going to solve
Hmm.
with friendship and teamwork? And kind of approach it more as like in a biblical sense because sometimes in the Bible it does have some really messed up stories in there. So
Right, right,
I
right.
just figured that if I take some influence from it and turn it into a message of positivity and just what would you do if you were in a traumatic situation, and how can you spin it around for the better? Is
Hmm.
kind of the theme that I'm going with for
Okay,
Solomon.
okay. I like that. It's a really,
Yeah,
really cool. It's like it's a good message just in general. It's like um kind of tangentially because a lot of people always ask it's like, well, shoot, I work in retail. I do this and that. How can I be an actor? It's like, well, you have a customer service voice, right? You've interacted with angry, sad, happy, all types of customers or whatever people in life, right? Take those experiences and then spin it in a way that's advantageous to yourself, right? You know how to put on some, like, let's call it like a safety mask, or kind of like let the emotions out when you go home because like that one person just like right? So you can just turn almost any instance into a positive or a learning experience. So yeah, I think that's a really great message that, Solomon's gonna um give the audience. So yeah, that's exciting.
yeah. It might sound lighthearted, but trust me, there is a lot of pretty crazy stuff that goes on in there.
Hey,
Just heads up.
that's just life. Life is pretty
Exactly.
lighthearted with some heavy stuff.
Yeah, like right now, for instance, just everywhere, not just here in
Hmm.
California, but just
Yeah,
everywhere
everywhere.
globally. So there was something else that I was gonna. Oh, yeah. So the part that you were talking about when it comes to personal experiences and injecting it into your art, it's like that is pretty much how what we do on a day-to-day basis. It's like you take something that you learn from life and then just apply it to a character, and
Yeah,
then boom, it just if something clicks, it just clicks.
yeah. And I think that's one of the important things about us as actors. There's bunch of actors who are young and are very talented beyond what I could do. But then there are some that I think need to live life a little more, right? They need to go out there and experience things like heartbreak, things like, death, things like fear, things like love, all of that, because that is what puts us into the characters more authentically than just reading off a script, right? I know I'm probably reading off of something or repeating what other people have heard or said in the past, but that's true what it is, right? When we want to play a character or when we do play a character, putting ourselves there, kind of living in that moment, makes it feel more real because to us it is slash was real, and then hopefully people resonate with it. So yeah, putting yourself in there, I think, is part of the art. It is the art.
For sure. And trust me, everything that you just mentioned, it will all be in the series throughout. So yeah, stay tuned for that. E.
I promise I'm not being fed stuff.
No worries. Yeah. So since we've kind of been this is the Solomon Shrine podcast, I guess we might as well just talk a little bit about it.
Okay, sure. Yeah, no, why not?
Yeah, so I've already shared the story, but yeah, based on an actual camping, this is what we were talking about when we were saying putting your own experiences into your stuff. So, based on an actual camping trip, nothing weird happened, just as a heads up. So,
Mhm.
because I know you hear stories of like, when I went on a camping trip, there's like, or when you see in like horror movies and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
where
yeah.
it's like you go on a trip, but we didn't see Freddy Krueger or, just any of those guys out there. So there were like these buildings, And I always wondered what would happen if you get stuck inside of there. So that's how I started coming up with the story. Like the general concept I started fleshing out around 2021,
Oh, okay.
like a little after, COVID and when lockdown was, I guess, lifted, I suppose. And yeah, then it just kind of snowballed from there. I hired Kayla Temchiff once again and started cooking up the casting calls with Michaela Laws. And yeah, I've just been able to really narrow down the submissions for everybody. And, lo and behold, we put out the video. And yeah, think you can expect to see more Solomon episodes coming very soonish, like for fall, winter time. I don't really have a set release date, but it is going to be soon. So you might want to stick around for that.
I'm excited for it. Bring it on.
Yeah. Yeah,
Make
of
me cry.
course.
Make me cry, Robert.
For sure. Oh, yeah. Make us cry all in just, why would you do it to us? How
But I want
dare you?
more. But I
Dude,
want
I'm just
more.
like, look, I tuned in for something because I just wanted to distress after a long work day. I don't think I signed up for this.
When you had the baby girl cry.
Yeah, I just want to take a break from reality, and you're putting more reality in here. Why?
But no, that's
So yeah,
exciting.
I kind of wanted to. Okay, so I wanted to share something funny with you about the casting process, and I think I even shared this with
Okay.
you on Discord not too long ago. But yeah, so when it came to William, and I also got to bring up. Okay, I'll bring somebody up in a little bit, but yeah. So for William, it came down between you and John Chiplock, and I went with Sean because Michaela and we were just like, you know what? I think he probably put out like he was the closest to what we imagine is William's character. Because one of my goals is to have very big, diverse cast, whether it's not just vocal quality, but just personality, viewpoints of the world, and just very diverse altogether. Like Marshall is not going to be the same as William, and
Mm-hmm.
Haley's not going to be the same with Adrienne, or some of the other characters that we have even listed in the doc that we might do a round two of auditions real soon. So keep a lookout for that. So that was one of our goals, and so it was unanimous. It doesn't usually happen in casting, but we both of us were just like, oh yes, Sean is William, Marshall is Belle, Diana, Trina, Adrian, Haley. So we pretty much had everybody all locked in. So we put out the video, and yeah, thank you. And funny thing was, I told you that you guys were kind of tied for William, and I said that Sean ended up getting the part, but Lauren, if you're listening to this, I think this kind of ties into what we were talking about. Like I hung out yesterday over Zoom with her. She's really awesome. So, we were kind of talking about this, and I mentioned, you were kind of tied with Sean. Y'all were talking about, yeah, you put yourself out there, and then sometimes every once in a while, Sean Chiplock would just drop in and just, just, just take one for the team, I guess. And yeah, it was a really crazy conversation where like we were just talking about Sean and y'all were just talking about him days before I brought it up with you. So just
Same
wild,
wavelength.
man.
Same
Just
same frequency.
crazy coincidence, man. And I just have to bring up Lauren because we were just kind of talking. We were just mentioning, like, oh, yeah, like it was between Sean and Alex. And then she brought up, oh, you were just talking about it not too long ago because sometimes Sean would just come in. And I mean, look, we all love him. Like, he's great, great dude. But sometimes it would
Kind
just
man.
be like, he'll just kind of drop in out of nowhere and just, oh, hey, hello. I'm I'm here. He would just come in and be like, "It was me, Dio." That freaking JoJo thing. But yeah, I'm just really glad with who I have on the cast. So I just wanted to bring up this story because it is just insane how it just all kind of snowballed into just the casting decisions and just the fact that we
Mhm.
were kind of literally just talking about it. And you also mentioned it with Lauren and I think it was Nathan or somebody. But yeah, it was just crazy how the timing of it all was just back to back.
It was just
I'm just talking
again,
about Sean.
just well, I mean, honestly, if he ends up listening to this, Sean is one of the coolest and kindest people that I've ever
Oh,
met.
he
So
is.
he's always a pleasure to see work and also chat with. So it's like,
Oh yeah.
congratulations, guys.
Yeah, and I'm just really happy with the cast that I have. I mean, not just with the main cast, but also the supporting roles. I mean, you have Jonah, Alonso, Brianna, Dalton, so many other names. The additional voices that you've probably seen in the video: Shakira, Lizzie, Brandon,
Hmm.
yourself, and so on and so forth. And we still got more people that are on board the project. I'm just gonna fit everybody into one video. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, and something else I've been wanting to ask you because you said you're I'm sorry, Vietnamese? Am I saying it right?
Vietnamese, Vietnamese.
Vietnamese, yeah. So
Yeah.
how would you say that, your cultural background also plays a large part into, how you approach life and acting and all that good stuff?
That's a good question. How my cultural background plays into my life and acting. Um, Long story short, I never really had much pride in being who I was until very recently, due to just some circumstances where it kind of opened my eyes in terms of like I'm a very unique me, right? I'm Alex Bowie, Vietnamese American, born and raised in America to two immigrant parents, and I have, done the things that they wanted me to do, or they put their blood, sweat, and tears into. And so that kind of bleeds into what I do because they gave up a lot of their life and a lot of their career choices for me and my brother. And I live on a philosophy of life lived for others is a life worth living. So of course, as a human as I am, I make selfish choices, but I do the best that I can to help others, which is why I got into healthcare and then also take care of my family as well as that. So that's my personal life, and I think that's how I approach characters. I'm a very hyper, excitable person for the most part, but like I'm very pretty much smiling 99% of the time that I'm talking to someone, unless I'm exhausted. But that energy is because like I want to make sure that you're comfortable. Even if you're hosting, I want to make sure you're comfortable in your own home, right? If I'm hosting, I'm like the helicopter host. Like, hey, you good, you good, you good. Not because I have like any anxieties or anything like that, which I probably do. It's because I want to make sure you're comfortable. Because you're in my home, I want you to feel like you're at home. So bleeding into acting, I take a lot of that, put into the character of trying to be, well, depending on what it is, I put care into it because I know somebody created these sides, somebody created this story. So I want to make sure that I do right by it as much as I can. And depending on the characters, if there's like parental to child relationships, those hold dear in my heart. So I do my best on those ones. Brother ones, because I have a older brother, and being in healthcare as well too, I have like a sense of like a sense of want or a sense of responsibility to help. I know I've said the same things over and over again, but that's just how it is. I liked helping people. I like playing the part. I love having fun. Um, and like I said, just being alive as long as I have, I've had so many experiences that have helped me put into perspective that life isn't um, easy. Life is short, and you just gotta have to have fun with it and learn as you go. Get knocked down, get back up. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, I guess that's the perfect way to close out this interview. So thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah.
Feel free to self-promo socials and the
Hmm.
stuff that you're in right now that you can talk about, and any closing thoughts, final. Yeah, the floor is yours, my man.
Okay, well, thank you again, Robert, for having me. Thank you for the team for bringing me on to Solomon. I'm very excited to be a part of it. If you guys want to check me out, I am on Twitter at This Buoy Floats, Instagram, Alex Bouvier, website is alexbuoyvo.com, and pretty much everything else like will be Alex Bouvier. Check out Everspace 2, Wrath of the Ancients. Find me as Viltoth. I still haven't found myself yet, so if you have a video, please let me know. There's some great, exciting games that I cannot wait to share with you guys. Besides that, oh, and I also just released my first audiobook got released yesterday. Or is it today? I think it was yesterday. The Corvus Crown. Check it out on Audible. Besides that, guys, thank you for listening. If you're still here, if you're not, come back, please. I want attention. But other than that, thank you so much, Robert, for having me.
Anytime, man. So usually what I do for the outro is, "Hi, my name is Alex. You can hear me in blah 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 blah, and this is
Okay,
Solomon Shrine podcast with Robert Jackson."
cool. Sounds good. Hey everyone, my name is Alex Bowie. You can hear me in various fun things, or as, may I say, Luke in Solomon Shrine. Check it out when it comes out. See you guys around.
Yeah, anytime. And trust me, there's going to be a lot more. Like I said, we'll be doing more characters, and yeah, it's probably going to be a sneak peek on who this certain character that you just mentioned. Who is this character? We'll have to find out and see in due time. So, yeah. Alrighty. So let me. Okay, there we are. So thank you so much for watching, and stick around next time if you dare on the Solomon Shrine podcast. Remember, play for your life. Take care and sleep well, all you foolish mortals.